Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku, episode 9, in which pretty much a new season begins. At least that's the vibe I've been getting all this time. Episode 8 really felt like a finale. Not even like a finale, but more like an after credits moment of a finale. Episode 7 was a finale, right? The big fight, the big reveals, badass moment for Morlock. Episode 8 was just the fallout of it, right? And a bit of a where are they now moment. We got a confession from Raelza, or, well, as close to a confession as we can get. We got Saito, who accepted that confession, or as close to an acceptance of a confession as we can get. We got some story for the for the ninja and the witch, who are now living happily ever after. Hopefully we will meet them again, and we will see that they indeed do live happily ever after, with Primas, who will need to be taken care of a little bit more than usual because she doesn't have her wings no more. So kind of a bittersweet ending for that, because the ninja had to lose an arm and a leg. Literally, the price for the witch's life was an arm and a leg. And Primas lost her primary way of locomotion, lost her wings, and also lost her magical energy. It's still unclear to me whether she lost it permanently, or was she just completely sapped out of mana and it will regenerate over time. I guess we will see. Of course, the biggest moment of the previous episode happened at the end. Apparently Morlock fucking died. I find it hard to believe. He's one of the main characters, and main characters don't really die in anime. I mean, sometimes when the anime tries to be super edgy for the sake of being edgy, like, I don't know, Akame ga Kill, right? But this show doesn't strike me as being edgy for the sake of being edgy. Perhaps realistic. Perhaps Morlock simply is that old that he just died of old age. But I also find it hard to believe. He's fairly spry for an old man. Demented, sure, but decently healthy in body. So it's going to be interesting. Are we going on a journey to get enough money, perhaps, to have him resurrected? Does it turn out that he just faked his own death for some reason? Perhaps so that he can go look for his daughter and wife without getting Saito and Raelza into it. Saito, Raelza, and Lafanpan into it. Right? That he decided that it's his own cross to bear, it's his own responsibility. He can't ask them for help, he can't get them into it, so let's just stage my own death, and I'm just gonna go alone. Could be. In the ending, we see that Gibelg, the shield dwarf, Morlocks. Sorry, I'm blanking a little. I pretty much just woke up, haven't had my coffee, haven't had anything, so do forgive me. And maybe you can hear it by my voice, maybe not. I'm a little under the weather. Doesn't matter. Show must go on. The next season is starting like this weekend, and I still haven't finished this show. I still haven't finished Ooyukiumi no Kaina, so I better speed things up, right? Okay. What was I about? Right, the dwarf, Morlock's apprentice, is with everybody in the ending. So could it be, just a hunch, that he sets off on an adventure with Lafanpan, Saito, and Raelza in search for Morlock? Right? That seems like something that could happen. We'll see. We'll see, perhaps even in this episode, perhaps in the next one. But before we start, I need to pause for a moment and open a window, so do forgive. Okay, much better. So, with the window open, with everything set up and prepared for us to watch episode 9, how did it go? You're gonna need your subs, of course, to follow along. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on, and I'm gonna have to ask you guys for your support. Support the channel if you want monetarily, Patreon, throw links in the description below, or not, share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with all of that out of the way, we can start watching episode 9 of Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku in 3, 2, 1, go. The Sad Dog Warrior 1. Okay, so a new character. Pretty strong for a dog, not gonna lie. I made myself some tea, but it's still hot, so in the meantime, plum compote. A female wolf, you can see that because of softer features. Okay, interesting. Are we going to follow a whole new set of characters this episode? That would be cruel if that's what they did. There's just no Saito, no Raelza, no Lafanpan, no Morlock this episode. It's just all these secondary characters and a bunch of brand new ones. On one hand, it feels like something this show would do. On the other, I'm not sure if I would have liked it. If I would like it. Also, I just noticed they have that hexagonal... Everybody has that, like, not alignment chart, but, like, strengths chart, attributes chart, or whatever it's called. Right, like strength, stamina, wisdom. I wonder if someone analyzed it. We haven't seen the shop lady in a good while. Okay, Sad Dog Warrior, so we continue with that. Okay, or not. So they just buried him. In the cemetery. But it didn't quite work. Oh! Shit! So they just buried the rest. So what, we need to find the dog and get the part of Morlock's body back? Okay, so he was still very much in the mood for jokes. Has he, though? Okay, so that's our quest. So let's gather money. That's an idea. Sure. True. If there is a chance, you should take it. Okay, so he actually fucking died. Oh, and he woke up, of course. So he's gonna be a lich now. I mean, that's another way it could go, of course. The wolf. From the Earthen Realm, of course. And you escaped with her, or does it have a tragic ending? It does have a tragic-ish ending. Okay, the designs of demons are out of this world in this show. Like, how do you come up with a hand with tentacles in its mouth that grows out of the wrist? It's good to see for once demons that aren't just red humans, you know? Gonna strangle him with his own tentacle? Yes. Oh, that goes beyond strangulation. How's the white wolf? Is she alive or did she die? Okay, so I guess she died. Oh, maybe not. Oh, a pup. Okay. Well, now you're gonna be a soul father. No, he dug himself up. And now we're gonna have to look for him. Okay. Is that Morlock attacking them? Yeah, the Lich Morlock. Lichlock Akamorlich. Okay, so how do you turn an undead into just an un? Sure. Reasonable. Oh, he's too high level for Raelza's attack to have any effect. Oh, holy water. Well, now we can punch him, because your fist is holy. Whomst. With a gun, no less. Oh, this is this is actual Morlock. Also undead, but actual. Okay, he's a full-on skelly man. But he doesn't realize that he's a skeleton. Oh, and he's back. Is he immortal? Is he immortal somehow? Oh, okay. Okay, well, that simplifies things. Okay, he's gonna be turning back into a skeleton randomly. Oh, so that's what the wild dog ate. Yeah, I thought it's gonna be an arm or a leg or something, but... Okay, so now we're on a quest to find Morlock's dick. That's important knowledge for Raelza. uh... Okay, okay, that's a bit too far. You can't use Lafan Pan as your dick. And Raelza, of course, she's gonna be thinking only about half Madaraka. Gibolg! Hello, what are you doing in the closet? Oh no, it's a window. Gibbongle. Okay. Maybe we'll actually be able to find something. Is it... No, it can't be the white wolf that died in the demon realm. Determination. Maybe you wait until morning, or no? Morlock, aka Crom. Yeah. Okay, third part of the Dog Warrior. Okay, so... Oh, maybe it actually is him. Okay. And what do they do? Are they going to... Okay, TMI. TMI. Yeah. Maybe as they extract the dick magic from the dog, they also extract the binding contract, and now Morlock is bound to the Demon Lord. That would be an interesting spin. Nothing. Yeah, maybe don't. Yeah, that's the dog. Okay. So that's how the two stories tie in with each other. This one is made by Raelza, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. That's gonna make things easier. The eyes! How is he more creepy as a skeleton? I mean, duh, more creepy as a skeleton, but more like... the eyes are unsettling. Okay, so the binding magic just weakens you? Okay, so his sustenance is magical energy, essentially. So he decided to eat some magical dick. This day, his dick grew 5 madarakas in size. Okay, so he's full-on demon and growing to like a boss monster size. Yep. True. It's just about a portion of the magical energy, a specific portion of it, actually. Hmm. A father's talk with the suitor. Oh, it's the end? And she's traveling with whom? Is that the witch? Okay. That's the white wolf from the demon realm. Or maybe this is the wolf from the demon realm. And what's the thing that her and her mother had around her necks? What became of the pup? Was it banished to the Shadow Realm? Somehow? Okay. Oh, and here comes the demon dog. Oh. Uh, well, that was abrupt. That was very abrupt. Did I get a corrupted file or something? No, the length is fine. Why did it cut off so abruptly? I I mean, I knew the ending was nearing, but that was. I'm gonna use this word again. That was very abrupt. Huh. Very, very uncharacteristic for this show. it usually either has like a proper cliffhanger, or it has some after credits scene or something like that. It never ends an episode just, just like that. Just never just cuts it. Interesting. Interesting why it happened. Okay. Regardless of why it happened, what's gonna happen now is we're gonna watch this episode again. Shall we? Yes, we shall, of course. As we always do. Pet of demon aristocrats. Yeah, super strong wolf that can even fool magical beasts and demons and whatnot. And wouldn't surprise me if this was Raelza's dog, all grown up, that somehow made it to the Shadow Realm. Yeah, everybody has this, like, hexagonal power chart. Yeah, Morlock's gone. He stopped breathing, was taken to a shed, and a part of him was eaten. And apparently even morgues cost a lot? What's interesting to me is that... Interesting. Kind of weird, actually. We know that in this world, resurrection magic exists. But the body has to be well taken care of for the resurrection to be at all possible, right? We know all that. And everybody in this world knows that. The body has to be intact, there can't be much time passed between the passing and the resurrection. The body should be kept from decay, right? That's when you get the highest chances of resurrecting. I would think that every adventurer, every person really, would have some sort of insurance, right? Like, paid in advance. If you're poor, you may pay in advance to the morgue to keep your body for a set period of time from decaying, and to notify your close ones so that they can start gathering money for the resurrection. If you're a bit more wealthy, you might sign a contract with the temple itself, where you pay them the cost of resurrection in advance, and when you die and someone carries you to that temple, they just resurrect you and void the contract. You spend that, right? And if you want another resurrection, you can sign up for another one, or maybe there's a monthly fee, or something of that sort. You'd think that people would do that. So it's interesting that they don't. It's interesting that Morlock had to be kept in some random shed and couldn't be placed in a morgue because the morgue is too expensive. Like, it isn't really a part of our job. Sure, I can understand that, right? It's not a part of your job to take your patrons to the temple and pay for the resurrection, absolutely. But you'd think that morgue would be either something very cheap, or perhaps even free, or something that you can pay for in advance. I mean, that's what I would do, honestly. If I were to live in this world, first thing I do before I go serious adventuring, I keep killing slimes and gathering herbs until I get enough money to pay for my own resurrection in advance. I pay it to the temple, I get a contract signed, or some seal or whatever, and keep it on myself at all times. That way, whenever someone finds me, they read the paper and that says, hey, bring me to the temple, and I'm gonna pay you for that after I get resurrected. Or, something to that effect. Perhaps it could be something that's just kept in the temple's records, but We don't know if there are other cities where dungeons like this exist. Because if they are, I'm assuming every city has a temple, so you would want something that's valid in every temple. If it's just here, if you don't plan on going anywhere else, you don't even need a contract or a seal or anything kept on you. They just keep it in the temple. That if such and such is brought there, just revive them because it's been paid in advance. Yeah, revival magic won't succeed if the body isn't in good condition. He got better for a while. Modulok is really just an old pervert, isn't he? Just fucking raw dogging bread with honey in his bare hands. The hands are gonna be so fucking sticky. I like bread with honey, don't get me wrong, but I either dip it in honey or like sprinkle it on top and then grab it by the skin, by the rind, to not get my hands dirty. Ugh, maybe it's just me, and I'm weird like that, where if my hands are sticky, my fingernails itch. Maybe it's just me, I don't know, and my fingernails are itching right now because I thought of getting my hands dirty with honey. It's it's not a good feeling. Okay, let's continue. How could this be his end? We don't know for sure that revival is impossible. Correct. Saito coming here with a fresh perspective, right? Everybody here just accepted that if you're dead and buried, then you probably won't be able to be revived. But Saito's like, hey, but what if? Right? What if? We have to dig him up and use Lafa's magic to maintain his current condition, yeah. The faster you work, the better. Absolutely. If he's decayed a little bit, what? Just keep him in that little bit decayed state. It's better. You still have higher chances of reviving someone with a couple maggots in his eye than reviving someone who's turned into a full-blown skeleton. Yeah, if there's even the smallest possibility, let's do everything we can, absolutely. In this world, death isn't an absolute ending. Indeed. If it had only been the two of us, we probably would have given up, right? Probably, yeah. Saito is really a very healthy impact on this team. And he digs himself up. Sad Dog Warrior 2. The demon designs in this show are really unique. Like, this thing doesn't seem to have legs, doesn't seem to have a left arm, just has a single eye, but two mouths. Wow. Just wow. And then there's this thing. Initially, I thought it's some sort of a quadruped with tentacles that look like insect antennae and a human head, which was already pretty fucking weird. And then it turned out it's a hand. It's not just a quadruped with a human head. It's a quintuped made of a hand. How do you come up with that design? How? And it also has the mark that the wolf has after it eats Morlock's dick. I thought we were gonna see some slow strangulation. Nope. Just garroted his head off. Sure, I mean, that works. Unfortunately, the white wolf died. I honestly expected the white wolf to just turn into a demon dog, and an ending of they lived happily ever after or something. But then we wouldn't have a combination. No, we wouldn't have those two storylines of this episode converge at any point, right? And then there's a pup, and he suddenly no longer wants to die. An undead with a fiery heat blast. Does it look like Morlock? Kinda, sorta. It's missing the beard, missing the hair. Bodies, even when decayed severely, the hair doesn't usually decay, because the hair is made of, what, keratin or whatever, and keratin doesn't really dissolve, doesn't really decay that fast as skin. So if there is bits and pieces of rotten skin, there should also be some hair. Great expressions on this undead. It reminds me of Plants vs. Zombies. I mean, don't tell me it's not a face from Plants vs. Zombies. Like, make him a little bit more green, and it's just a PBZ character. Anything other than a magical weapon really won't work. Interesting tidbit about the undead, that you need specifically like light magic or holy magic or holy water or things like that, and just physical damage won't work. Usually, physical damage might not work all physical damage, right? Like, stabbing and slashing won't work, but bludgeoning damage would. And you'd think that Raelza's weapon counts like at least 50% bludgeoning damage with a sword that is really just a slab of iron. Yeah. But apparently undead in this world are very special, especially an undead that knows magic. I'm assuming that's what gives him this sort of physical protection and makes him susceptible only to magical damage. Because it's a lich, not just any random zombie. This was a gunshot. Since when did Morlock learn gun magic? Yes, that spell came so easily and in the spur of a moment. Huh. This was just a regular undead, indeed. And Morlock is also an undead now. I thought we're just going to completely nullify any effect of his death. Like, he revived, he's just covered in skin again, and let's go, let's continue adventuring. That it's gonna be a moment of bait and switch again, right? Something super extremely dramatic, only for the punchline to be purely comedic and purely lighthearted. I really thought we're going in that direction. But as it turns out, not entirely. Resurrection contract. Apparently you can use it only once, which is an interesting limitation. And a very interesting limitation, actually. Because the existence of such a contract does give people some leeway, for sure, but the fact that it can be used only once still makes you wary. Not wary, weary. Still makes you cautious. is how I'm gonna say it. Like, in the context of, I don't know, a D&D campaign or a video game or whatever, if there was essentially a totem of resurrection from Minecraft that you just carry with you, and if you die you get revived, then dying has no price, really. You just craft another totem, you just buy another contract, you just cast the magic again, and you can go risking your life again because you will be resurrected. But... And on the other hand, when there is no resurrection magic, or very expensive resurrection magic, you are cautious to not die. This is kind of the best of both worlds. you have the safeguard. In case you do die, you come back, but you still don't want to die because you only get 1 second chance. That's actually cool. And of course, that just goes back to berating Morlock. Young Morlock. Hey. That's actually some really cool effect. And also interestingly, perhaps to make it even more unsettling, who's flying around in a helicopter? What's going on over there? Was it a helicopter? Was it, I don't know, something with some sort of a, I don't know, loud propeller, I guess. Never mind, I get distracted. This is interesting. His skin decaying. It's animated on ones. Notice. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1, and now it's back to twos. The biggest portion of the decay. Okay, the beard and the mustache receding is also animated on ones. Then his mouth flaps are animated on threes, and then the skin decaying is animated on ones again. That's an interesting thing to do. It really increases the uncanny effect of it. There was an anime that had this very uncanny effect to it. Handshakers, I think it was called. But I can't remember if it was so uncanny because it was done at 60 FPS. No, not 60. Who's calling me later? Not at 60, but rather at like animated on ones. Or I think it was uncanny because of the camera work. That it was weird. I don't know. Regardless. Frame rate higher than usual gives that bit of an uncanny effect. I remember watching The Hobbit. That was filmed at not the usual 24 frames a second, but I think it was 48. And it was also in 3D in a cinema. And it was extremely uncanny. It seemed more real than real life. And honestly, if you ever have a chance to watch some movie filmed at 48 frames a second, preferably in 3D at some IMAX or somewhere, take that opportunity. Whatever movie it is, because just the effect it has on the reception of the movie is noteworthy. Honestly, it could be, I don't know, second installment of Paw Patrol the movie or whatever. Just go there just for the effect. So yeah, animating on ones, uncanny, cool, me likey. Also allows them to add more stages to that decay, so it's smoother. And now he's back again. Okay, so he's going to be turning into a skeleton and back, and he no longer has a dick. And sometimes just half of him is a skeleton and half is a man. I can't play with that little succubus anymore, which implies that he did hook up with the succubus, and he kept hooking up with her every now and then. Which is a great callback to the episode where he met that succubus, and a little bit of detail that kind of adds to the world. Adds to the story. The reason resurrection is not working because part of his body is missing. It could hold its own against Madaraka. Madaraka firsts when it was perky. And that means 30 centimeters. Do I have a ruler? I should have some ruler. How much is 30 centimeters? I need to visualize it. That was a compass. Okay, so this ruler is 15 centimeters. And this is another 10 centimeters. Okay. And I need another 5 centimeters. Come on, get out of here. That's actually kind of impressive. Not gonna lie. That is impressive. Jesus. Okay. So, Madaraka the First was something, alright. And now how do I stash it again? Like that? How did it go in? Like that? I don't know, doesn't really matter, does it? And Saitou is half a Madaraka, so 15 centimeters, standard size. And of course, Raelza cannot think of anything else than just half a Madaraka. At most, it's half a Madaraka, and instant blush. Half a Madaraka's only about this big, you know? And of course, Lafanpan being used as a substitute for a dick. Okay. Like... this scene is something, alright. Raelza burning beet red. And yeah, one day he might stay a skeleton and not come back, indeed. And Gibulg just stalking him, sitting behind the window. Magipedia. What does he call it? Magicopedia. Mahopedia. When revival magic fails, yeah, you can retrieve that part, but if it was ingested, you just pull out the dick magic and you can just use it as a substitute for a dick, or whatever other body part was consumed. And just zero hesitation. Badass Morlock is back. His hat askew covered his face in a very whatchamacallit. I really like this trope of a character covering their face with a scarf and the scarf just floats behind their head. Hibiki did something similar in Symphogear. Who else? Nobody else comes to mind instantly, but I think one character in My Hero Academia. Haven't watched that series, by the way, but I did see. I think it was the main character that went through a phase of like vigilantism or something, and he had his face covered with a scarf or something. I don't know. As I said, I never read the manga, never watched the anime, but it's always cool when you see a character cover his face with a scarf. I'm your apprentice, Gibungle. Of course, wherever Morlock goes, Gibungle follows. Half a Madaraka. And of course, it was written by Krom. My Spring and I were living in a human realm. But the binding magic has some effect on him. Increased aggression, sapping him of his power, I don't know. He's salivating a lot, so you would think some increased aggression, or perhaps some drive to kill, or something of that sort. But on the other hand, he's been starving near the end and resorted to eating Morlock's dick, so maybe sapping him of magic? I don't know, hard to tell. Magic detection. Detecting the scent of his magical energy should prove a simple feat. I did not take Gibungle for someone like that. For an infatuated stalker, but I'd. Who knows Grandpa better? Both are. I just noticed that he has a symbol around his pubic area. And apparently, Morlock's magic is so strong that it interferes with detection magic? Or does it just interfere with Morlock magic detection? Where the detection magic just detects him and not any other part of his body because there's so much raw power inside of him? Or does he interfere with any sort of detection magic? If they were trying to detect, I don't know, Raelza or Saito or whatever, it would still not work because Morlock just by being there interferes with it. And just straight up undead perish now. Not even thinking for a moment. Okay, poster, dog, something, and some other characters that I don't necessarily recognize. Something, 3-ard. Sure. And this is the moment where our storylines converge. What other work do we have? Requesting destruction of undead. Please find the sword I dropped in the Great Labyrinth. And 4 other that I don't know the language, so I'm not gonna translate. But I'm assuming those 2 are important somehow. They are a reference to something. I'm not sure. A dog with a cross-shaped scar on its head is attacking people. Indeed. This face. How do you make a skeleton any more creepy than a skeleton already is? You give him these eyes. Ah, Jesus. That's a face and a half. And yeah, he's super weak for some reason. But he needs enough strength to have the pup survive. 8 Morlock's dick because it was brimming with raw energy and that magic is rampaging, strengthening the binding magic, I'm assuming, because the scar changes shape and grows. And he also grows, right? Grows his horns back and turns much more feral. Turns into his initial form, essentially. I'm assuming he mellowed out after he moved to the human realm, perhaps because of the lack of magic, perhaps because of the difference in whatever mana concentration, or the type of mana, or the lack of miasma, or whatever other magical mambo-jumbo. But now he's back to his form. I'm a hunting dog of the demon realm. And so he goes attacking people. It isn't certain that we'll have to kill it. That's good. Couple of thoughts. Oh, okay, that didn't fall out. Couple of thoughts. Where is Saitou? This fell, however. Couple of thoughts. Saitou-san. Morlock takes the demon seal from the dog a long dick energy. That's a joke I didn't make. You could say that Morlock has big dick energy. Alright, I guess now this dog has big dick energy. Another thought. Relza adopts the pup. She likes dogs. There's a pup that probably won't be able to survive without a parent. There is a chance of the big dog, of the parent dog, dying. The only logical conclusion is Relza adopts the pup. Or she adopts the dog after the dog and the pup after the evil seal magic is removed. Apparently, even as an undead, he can get tired. What do you think of Relza? What do you think of her as a regular girl? Now that took him by surprise, didn't it? I'm glad we're going in that direction, that we didn't just stop at the confession in the previous episode and that's that. Wait another 12 episodes, wait until season 2 for them to, I don't know. Why is everything falling? Now it was a charger. Another 12 episodes, season 2, for them to, I don't know, blush at each other. And then in season 3, Relza might kiss him on the cheek. And that sort of a progression. No, Morlock is straight up, hey, yo, she's my daughter. And you, I like you. Do you want to marry her? Because I might not belong for this world and I would feel really good. I would feel better and safer if you were to marry her. Just straight up. I like it. I really do. This show proves yet again just how unique it is. This woman looks like the witch. Or Morlock's wife? Could it be? I don't remember how Morlock's wife looks. But could it be? The chain with a thing on it might be part of a demon contract that she made in exchange for her daughter's life? I know, I'm just spitballing here. But yeah, that gesture and this hair, she does kind of look like the witch. But she died, though, so... Her father died while killing a wolf. Her mother went out into the mountains in the winter and was also killed by a wolf. But also killed the wolf in the process. Interesting, why did they go live in a cave somewhere in the mountains? And why didn't they live in a village or in some sort of a house or, you know, something? Like, sure, the father was killed while hunting a wolf, but would that cause them to be banished from a village? No. So what reason do they have for living in the wilderness? Or were they just wild people just living in the wilderness like that? They have steel weapons, though, so they had to have contact with civilization, with some sort of a village that had a blacksmith. She met a wolf pup, probably the pup from the wolf that killed her mother? I don't know. She felt they were alike somehow. They lived together for many years. And then Morlock met her and adopted her, but what became of the pup? Something tells me the pup went to the Shadow Realm. And it's one big family. She came to live with me as an adventurer. She's family to me like a daughter. Indeed. I felt my body's regeneration growing weaker, so they need to find his dick and fast, otherwise he will forever remain a skeleton. Since the worst may very well happen, I want to say this. If you're alright with it, would you be so good as to take my daughter Raelza? Of course Saitou would be this good, of course he would be. Although it is not a decision that you take lightly, that you make lightly, and then just randomly wolf and cut. Again, very abrupt ending. But sure, whatever. It works, I guess, and it makes me want to watch another episode. But not now. I need to be somewhere in an hour or so. And those videos usually take over an hour, so yeah, okay. This view. There we go. There we go. So, episode 9, where Morlock gets resurrected, but not entirely. I was correct in believing that he will not die, but I did not in my wildest dreams, although no, I think I did predict eventually that he's going to turn into a lich. So I guess I did kind of predict that. But yeah, he's a lich now, and what I wouldn't be able to predict, never in a million years, is that the key to fully reviving him will be finding his bitten off and digested dick. That's very on brand for this show, don't get me wrong, but it's also very... Again, very, very mixed feel for this show. Very mixed, I don't know. On one hand, you have Morlock who died, then drama, then comedy because, oh, he's a funny skeleton, then more comedy because, oh, dig jokes, haha. Then apparently he might not be able to revive anymore and he might just die, and in his last moments he wants to marry off his daughter. And then there's the whole secondary story with the wolf that's just purely dramatic, and now we don't want that wolf to die. We want him to be freed from the clutches of the demon lord, and we want him to, you know, survive and keep the pup, keep living in this human world. And then you have... But that would mean that Morlock might not be able to extract the energy, because to extract it and to revive fully, you might have to kill that dog. But Elsa really likes dogs, and she would probably hesitate, and it's one big, huge, just mess. Not in a bad way, not in a negative way, but usually stories in anime, I don't want to generalize to say in all anime or in all media, but usually stories in anime are fairly straightforward, right? We go from point A to point B. There rarely, if ever, are secondary stories. Sometimes there is some stuff going in the background, right? Usually you have our main characters going for an adventure, and then in the background there's some political shenanigans going on. Or you sometimes cut to the antagonists, how they are going on their adventures, or something like that, but not much more than that usually. And everything is usually very straightforward. That's an enemy, we kill enemy, things good. Simple, very, very simple. Benriya Saitou-san is anything but simple. There's so many characters that interlock with each other and interact with each other, that influence each other's stories. There's so many characters that we don't want to end up badly, but if they don't end up badly, then someone else who we like will end up badly. It's a lot of, I don't know, choosing the lesser evil to an extent. Because we don't want the wolf to die, but we also don't want Morlock to die. We hope for a good outcome, we hope that maybe extracting magic without killing the dog will be possible, but we cannot be sure that it's actually possible. Great example of that is the story of the ninja and the witch. Everybody was thinking that it's either going to be played as a joke, where the whole, oh, you need to give up your whole life is just a scare, so that not every random peasant asks the king to resurrect someone or rejuvenate someone, and the king just rejuvenates the witch and they live happily ever after. Or the other outcome would be that the ninja actually fucking dies and the witch gets resurrected and rejuvenated, but there's no more, but the ninja exists no more. And they found that middle ground, and it's cool. It's cool. It's complex. It's a mess, but it's a good kind of a mess, where everything is tangled up, but also that tangling makes sense and is comprehensible. You can trace all those threads and see which characters, which stories, which points they connect. One of the most unique anime I've seen, possibly ever, honestly. Saitou no Paladin already had a fairly unique take on the whole magical fantasy world. Benriya Saitou-san goes even a step further than Saitou no Paladin. And I already adored Saitou no Paladin, and I really do adore this show as well. What's gonna happen in the next episode? I don't know. We're probably gonna fight the evil wolf. We will either extract his magic, turn him back into a regular wolf, and he goes his way with his pup, and Morlock gets his dick back and gets revived. Or we might have to kill that dog, but Morlock says, yeah, no, don't do that. I'd rather die myself. I don't know, maybe Morlock takes pity on that dog because that dog has a pup, has a son or a daughter or whatever gender that pup is. And he's like, oh, I already failed my wife, already don't have a daughter, but you have a daughter, you deserve to live more. You know, I don't know, any sort of thing can happen, that's the thing. I can make predictions, I can think of 15 different scenarios, and the 16th scenario is gonna occur in the next episode. It's crazy. The kind of crazy I like. Okay, I think we should just end it here. I don't have anything more to say about this episode, but maybe you do. And also my throat is hurting a little. But maybe you have something more to say, and you don't need to use your throat to write a comment down below. What did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? No spoilers, please. I know source material exists. Future episodes are out. I'm gonna get to them. If you do want to talk spoilers, there's my Discord, linked here, also invite in the description down below. Join it, there's a Benriya Saitou-san channel where you can discuss spoilers to your heart's content. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku, but also Ooyukiumi no Kaina and Symphogear XV and other shows that I will be watching in the future. And I will also be streaming a look at the next upcoming season, possibly this weekend, maybe the next, we'll see about that, so stay tuned for that. And also click the bell to be notified whenever I go live, because I do stream sometimes. Support the channel if you want on Patreon or Throne, links in the description below. On Patreon for $10 a month you get early access. For $10 a month, you can get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear, XV, and others, and for just $1, you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. And whatever your donation is, you get me a step further to making this my full-time gig and recording more, because I won't need a 9 to 5. What's next? On Throne, you can pitch in directly towards my purchase of better gear, better software, stuff like that, and if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do the good stuff, and I'm Gonna see you in the next one. Cheers. And here's the list of my Patreons. You don't need to die and resurrect to become one. You just need to visit the link in the description.